This podcast is sponsored by IQ Bar. Your favorite clean, functional, delicious nutrition brand is raising the bar with a little help from Thomas Keller, Michelin star chef of the French Laundry. IQ Bar and Thomas Keller have teamed up to create a salted caramel chip protein bar and yuzu mango hydration mix. With toasted macadamia nuts, rich caramel flavor, and brain-boosting nutrients, this bar is like having a Michelin star meal in your pocket. Pair it with the taste bud tingling yuzu mango IQ Mix hydration mix, packed with magnesium and adaptogens to improve clarity and mood. With Keller's culinary excellence and IQ Bar's commitment to great taste and clean ingredients, this limited edition collaboration is simply mwah. And the best part is that 10% of sales go directly to Chef Keller's nonprofit, Mentor, that supports aspiring young chefs. Great taste, great nutrition, great mission. Go to iqbar.com today and enter promo code KELLER20 to get 20% off all IQ Bar products plus free shipping. That's iqbar.com, promo code KELLER20.
Hello and welcome to the Intel Brief. Today is Thursday, 17 July. I'm your host Daniel, and today we're going to talk about the Istanbul Mayor has been given a jail term, Trump has revoked funding for the California high-speed rail, and Ukraine's parliament backs the PM's resignation. So firstly, the mayor of Istanbul was on Wednesday handed a prison sentence for insulting a prosecutor, according to Turkish media. He is the main political rival to Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan and has been in jail pending trial since March on separate corruption charges. He has now been sentenced to 1 year and 8 months in prison for insulting and threatening Istanbul's chief prosecutor. Under Turkish law, prison terms of this length do not typically result in incarceration, but he remains in pre-trial detention regardless. The case stems from remarks he made after a raid on the home of a youth leader from the opposition party, when he said that Istanbul's chief prosecutor had a rotten mind. He denies the charges against him and told a TV broadcast host and to other Turkish media that he's been fighting against the abuse of the judiciary and against its use as a political tool. So what? These definitely appear to be trumped-up charges, and the time of his prison sentence is pretty interesting to almost exactly line up to being after the Turkish election next year, which is why he's been incarcerated, according to most major commentators. Additionally, it's likely that if he doesn't comply pretty soon, that these corruption charges will turn into a bit more and he will possibly get more prison time, as they're clearly, well, almost certainly trying to punish him for his opposition to Erdogan. And next, US President Donald Trump has announced on Wednesday that the US Department of Transportation is cutting $4 billion in federal funding for California's high-speed rail. In a post on social media, he said, "Not a single penny in federal dollars will go towards this Newsom scam ever again." And he spelt Newsom's name, New Scum. Classic. Trump also called the project an ill-conceived and unnecessary project and a total waste of taxpayer money. Meanwhile, the US Transportation Secretary said that Governor Gavin Newsom and California's high-speed rail are the definition of government incompetence and possible corruption. So what? It's a bit of a random story for me to include, but I wanted to highlight it as it's just clearly an extension of politics into like the funding of national services, which is never a good thing. While California's high-speed rail has been notoriously poor, this is just clearly an attack on a state that doesn't like Donald Trump. Yeah. Even though it's highly likely that this is just an attack on a non-Trump supporting governor, it's also pretty important to highlight how poorly run this California high-speed rail has kind of gone. Like, it's been over 10 years, they've not laid any track. It's cost billions of US dollars. And in the same time period, countries such as China have built like thousands of miles of high-speed rail. So yeah, this kind of stuff is like, it goes to like the bigger problem of how Western developed nations are kind of struggling to build infrastructure these days, and it seems to cost absolutely shitloads. So yeah, definitely something that would be good to sort out in the near future, but if it will be, it seems unlikely. And lastly, the Ukrainian parliament on Wednesday voted in favour of the Ukrainian Prime Minister's dismissal after he tendered his resignation. The decision to dismiss him was supported by 261 lawmakers in the parliament, formerly known as Verkhovna Rada. At least 226 votes were needed to approve the dismissal, with Ukraine's cabinet of ministers also being dissolved amid a government shake-up. He's the longest-serving Ukrainian prime minister and has been in position since March 2020. The prime minister is Ukraine's head of government, whereas the Ukrainian president is the head of the state. His resignation comes amid a major government reshuffle, which is intended to recalibrate Ukraine's economic and defensive policies. So what? I need to look more into this, to be honest, as it seems quite important. And quite a significant change within Ukrainian politics. But it's likely a positive move, as, you know, all the current leadership have been in position since well before the current war, and sometimes change is a positive move to try and like reinvigorate and re-bolster decision-making within the government. Also, it kind of goes to show the support that the government is giving Zelensky, as they can almost unanimously support the changes across government. It seems that the Ukrainian, well, unsurprisingly, the Ukrainian government has all come together in this time of extreme crisis and is working towards the goal of Ukraine's future rather than fighting amongst themselves, which is highly likely what Russia had hoped would happen. So yeah, quite positive, hopefully, but need to look more into it and probably write a post on it tonight, or possibly maybe even with a YouTube video. I'll see how much information is out there and what it kind of talks about. But yeah, that's been your Intel Brief. Thank you for listening. See you.
This is your before and after story. Prepare for an incredible career in nursing. At Southeastern College, experience expert hands-on training. Learn real-world skills in our professional lab and simulated settings. And train for opportunities as a practical nurse, registered nurse, or career advancement with our RN to BSN program. At Southeastern College, your future is bright. Visit sec.edu to get started.